Hey everyone, welcome to Daily English, your quick and easy way to learn English every day. From useful phrases to fun grammar tips. I still remember the night it all began. It was a humid evening in early April, and I sat on my bed staring at the flickering light of my old phone. I had just finished watching a YouTube interview of a young entrepreneur who spoke flawless English, explaining how he built his life from nothing. His confidence fascinated me. His words were simple, yet powerful. And for the first time, I realized that English wasn't just a language, it was a key. A key that could open doors I didn't even know existed. Until that night, English had always been my enemy. In school, I'd avoided speaking it because I was terrified of making mistakes. My teachers would correct my pronunciation, and classmates would giggle. Each time I tried, I felt smaller. I started believing that maybe English just wasn't for me. But that night, something changed. The entrepreneur's words, "Don't let fear decide your future," struck me like lightning. I was tired of watching life happen to other people while I sat in silence, limited by a language I refused to face. I decided then and there, I would learn English, really learn it, in 3 months. People laughed when I told them. 3 months? They said, that's impossible. Maybe they were right, but deep down I had a fire that wouldn't go out. I wrote a single sentence on a piece of paper and taped it to my wall. In 90 days, I will speak English confidently. That was my promise to myself. I didn't know how I'd do it yet, but I knew one thing: I wouldn't quit. Month 1. Immersion in fear. The first week was chaos. I didn't have a plan, only determination. So I did what everyone does when they don't know where to start. I searched YouTube, how to learn English fast. The internet exploded with advice. Watch movies, read books, listen to podcasts, memorize vocabulary lists. It was overwhelming. So I made my own system. I decided to surround myself with English 24/7, even if I didn't understand most of it. My phone's language? English. My playlists? English. My thoughts? I tried to say them in English too, even if I got stuck halfway. At first, it was embarrassing. I'd walk around my room, muttering to myself, "Today, I will go, to the market." It felt silly, but I realized something important. Every sentence, no matter how broken, was progress. I started with children's cartoons. They spoke slowly, clearly, and repeated words often. I'd pause, repeat, mimic their tone. When they said, "Let's go," I'd shout it too, like a child playing pretend. I created flashcards using new words I heard each day. Broom, curtain, thoughtful, challenge. I didn't just memorize them, I used them. When I cleaned my room, I'd say, "I'm using a broom." When I looked at the window, I'd think, "The curtain is blue." It was exhausting. Some nights I went to bed with a headache from trying to think in English. But after 2 weeks, I noticed something. The fear was shrinking. I joined an online English community. At first, I just listened. The people there came from all over the world: Brazil, India, Egypt, Vietnam, all learning English, all struggling like me. I wasn't alone. One day, someone asked, "Who wants to practice speaking?" My heart raced. I almost stayed silent, but then I remembered the note on my wall. In 90 days, I will speak English confidently. So I unmuted my microphone. My voice trembled. "Hello," I said. They smiled. "Hello." That simple word changed everything. For the first time, I spoke English not as a student, but as a communicator. I made mistakes, yes, but I was speaking. By the end of month 1, I could introduce myself, describe my day, and understand simple conversations. I wasn't fluent, but I was no longer afraid. Month 2, the turning point. If month 1 was about breaking fear,
Month 2 was about breaking limits. I realized I couldn't rely only on passive learning. Watching videos and listening wasn't enough. I had to speak, think, write, and live English. So I set new rules. No subtitles while watching shows. Write one paragraph every morning about my day. Talk to one person in English daily, no matter what. It was brutal at first. Watching movies without subtitles felt like listening to music underwater. The words blurred together. I caught one or two, then lost the rest. But I kept going. Slowly, patterns began to appear. The rhythm, the intonation, the way native speakers connected words. I started shadowing, repeating sentences from podcasts as soon as I heard them. I'd walk down the street, whispering to myself like a lunatic. You know what I mean? That's crazy. I totally get it. It worked. My mouth began to feel English. Then came my first real conversation with a native speaker. Her name was Lisa, a volunteer tutor from Canada. The first few minutes were torture. My tongue stumbled, my mind froze, but Lisa was patient. She smiled after every awkward pause and said, "Take your time." That kindness changed my relationship with the language. After a few sessions, I noticed something incredible. I started to understand jokes. I could reply naturally, not just with memorized phrases. The language began to feel alive. Still, I hit walls. Grammar rules confused me. Sometimes I'd spend an hour on one sentence. I have been learning? I have learned? I learned? Each time I got it wrong, frustration grew. I even thought about quitting. But then I reminded myself, language is like climbing a mountain. You don't stop just because it's steep. I changed my strategy. Instead of perfection, I focused on communication. If people understood me, I succeeded. That shift freed me. By the end of month 2, I could hold 20-minute conversations. I wrote journal entries in English. I even started dreaming in English once or twice. My confidence soared. But I wasn't done yet. I wanted to think in English. I wanted to feel it like my native tongue.
Month 3, Mastery in Motion. The final month was where everything connected. I doubled down. I began every morning with 30 minutes of reading. Short articles, motivational essays, even English Twitter threads. Whenever I found a new word, I didn't just translate it. I used it in a sentence, said it out loud, and wrote it in my journal. Then I started journaling entirely in English. At first, it was messy. My sentences were short and simple, but they were mine. Day by day, they grew longer, deeper, more natural. I also began to think in English, consciously. When I saw something, I described it in my head. That man is wearing a red jacket. The sky looks heavy with rain. This exercise rewired my brain. Soon English stopped being a subject. It became a lens through which I saw the world. To test myself, I set a goal to give a 5-minute speech in English at the end of the 3 months. I practiced every day. I stood in front of the mirror pretending to speak to an audience. I recorded my voice, corrected pronunciation, memorized transitions. The first few tries were terrible. I sounded robotic. But gradually, my rhythm improved. My voice grew stronger. When the day came, I joined an online community call and said, "Today I want to share how English changed my life." My heart pounded, but I spoke clearly. Words flowed naturally. When I finished, people clapped, virtually but sincerely. Someone commented, "Your progress in 3 months is unbelievable." I smiled, tears welling up, because for the first time, I believed it too.
What I learned beyond language. 3 months earlier, I thought learning English was about grammar and vocabulary, but it wasn't. It was about mindset. I learned that confidence comes after courage, not before it. You don't wait to feel ready,
you start scared and grow stronger along the way. I learned that mistakes are proof of progress. Every wrong word, every awkward pause, every moment of confusion, they were steps toward fluency. Most of all, I learned that consistency beats talent. I wasn't gifted. I didn't have fancy tools or tutors. What I had was a decision to show up every day, even when I felt tired, embarrassed, or stuck. And that decision changed everything. Learning English in 3 months didn't just give me a new skill. It gave me a new identity. Someone who believes in action, not excuses. Now, when people ask me, how did you do it? I tell them the truth. I failed hundreds of times. I doubted myself constantly, but I kept going. Because learning a language, like any dream, is less about the language itself and more about who you become while learning it. Today, I still practice English, not because I have to, but because I love it. It's my daily reminder that impossible goals are only impossible until you start chasing them. If you're reading this, maybe you're at the beginning of your own journey. Maybe you think 3 months is too short, or you're too old, or too busy, or too afraid. Let me tell you, none of that matters. What matters is your decision to begin, right now, where you are, with what you have. Because if I could go from 0 to confidence in 3 months, so can you. And one day, you'll look back and realize that learning English wasn't just about speaking a new language. It was about discovering a new version of yourself.
Thanks for watching Daily English. If you learned something new today, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more quick English lessons every day. See you tomorrow.